Hey guys, so I came across some old footage that was talking about how we got debt-free on our homestead back home. We still own that homestead. We are using it as a rental, and so the series that I'm showing you now is about how to do it in your own rental. And I'm in front of my hotbed. That is one of my sources of wealth, is that I can grow food when it's really cold. Today it's 30 degrees, and what I have is a very nice, warm, it's probably about 60, 70 degrees in here. And pull that back down because it is pretty cold. Want to keep the warmth in. But what you'll see in all my videos is that I'm taking things that are garbage and turning them into wealth, which is reserves of food, reserves of future food. For me, it's all about food. So I hope you enjoy this video and getting a chance to look at our old homestead, which in my opinion is the ideal homestead. It was small enough that it was manageable, but it was large enough that we really could create a huge amount of abundant food there. And we really like the Dave Ramsey system. Ever since the beginning of our marriage, we used the Dave Ramsey system, the envelope system, and then on top of that I had food storage and all my different animals in my gardens. And so when John hurt his back, it meant that instead of us having to go on any kind of social system like food stamps or anything like that, we had all this food storage. We didn't need to do that. And it was the fact that we had all the savings that allowed us to suddenly be like, well, I guess we'll just go travel the country and turn this into a bigger business. And that's what we did, and we did it without debt. I don't think there's a lot of people who, if they lost their job, would suddenly go, pick up and travel the country and start a new business without any debt. And so this is how we did it, is that because we were prepared on our original homestead, we were able to take advantage of a good situation that looked like a bad situation. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Oh, and by the way, I forget. There's my t-shirt. If you want a t-shirt, it says Get Dirty, which is my favorite thing to do. I will put it in the link in the description below. One year's storage of wood for our fireplace. We heat our whole house with this. And we have other piles of wood in other places.
I hear chopping wood.
I just walked out the door to the sound of persistent thumping to find that Paige had fetched a hatchet.
Mom, okay if I go get
He's out here splitting wood. How old are you again, child?
7.
7. Okay, I really don't want you to cut your finger or your sister's finger off, okay?
Mama, can I go get a hatchet to cut wood?
No, I think when you're 7.
I need a hatchet to cut a big log. What's hard for me to kill with log?
No, I don't think so.
Come on, Mom.
Honey, I'm not going to let you have a hatchet.
Well,
they are squishing the branches down as if it was hay, so that it has more space, because the goats can eat all of this, or we can put it into living fences. Or Mr. Dirt takes this and cuts it later in the winter to make kindling that's small enough to go in, and he uses the miter saw. For now,
Wow.
I'm sorting things so that they're more manageable, because if I tried to stick all of that in this, which is how we stack it, then it would be very lopsided and hard to work with later. Lunch, but it's also pig food and tea. Once the tea boils, I'll make the tea, and then I will move. Rabbits are part of our saving system. They provide meat and manure for the garden. This is my black gold. I never seem to be able to get enough of it. So I'm going to take some of this out to the greenhouse, some that's a little fresher and hasn't had any water on it, and go ahead and get that raised bed started. This is how big the mountain of greens is that I give to these guys every day. And I haven't had any problem with heat stroke, although I do have them underneath the crabapple. I haven't had any problem with heat stroke, and we've been able to keep down on the food. 2 or 3 minutes to have her totally butchered. Her pelt came off really easy. She's about 8 months old. And Really, really nice pelt. Really. Our greenhouse is part of our saving system so that we can grow food when we need it. It's so cold here. It's hard to get things started earlier than June if you don't have a greenhouse. Here's a view from the other side. I'm really, really hoping that borage pulls some bees in this year. This is part of our saving system. We do not have to buy groceries every week because we keep food in storage. This is part of our saving system. We have roots that we eat. We have eggs in cold storage. And then we have 2 freezers full of home-raised meat. This is what it looks like when we go grocery shopping. Lots of bulk. That is $221 for 3 months worth of groceries. This is part of our farm food storage. Hay for the goats and the rabbits, and also straw for bedding. We have ducks as part of our saving system. They raise babies that we butcher and eggs that we eat, and they also keep the slugs down in our Back to Eden deep mulch gardening system. Our goats are part of our food storage. They give us milk, and we sell their offspring to pay for their feed during the rest of the year. So between my 2 goats, milked once a day, this is how much milk I'm getting. And they still haven't come into full production yet. This is my bigger shovel. I have an Etsy store. And I'll try and show you my camera equipment. And my YouTube channel. Those create my bigger shovel. And then you find this from your lone chicken. So it's time to transition mamas and babies away from each other. They're getting big enough that they don't need to nurse anymore. Yeah, I'll stand here. The goats are the most helpful part. They are eternally helpful as they eat our new bushes. Do you need to go out in the back pasture, little one?
They both have it.
Huh? Okay, go slowly and gently so she doesn't know you want her.
The babies
Okay.
are just being babies.
You babies are so helpful. Okay, come on to the cage. So we're moving Mama to a smaller cage. And we're going to save the one that she was in. We're going to save the one that she was in for, here. Do you want to get one or two of her babies out so they can still nurse? That would be a good idea because I saw that she's still got milk teats. This cage, as our grow out cage, because they're at 5-6 weeks. Because we have all the babies in the pen. We have some new babies that are in other pens. They're not ready to leave their mom. We like to have them come out at about 5 or 6 weeks. If they're still nursing a lot, we like to leave one baby in.
Or 2. 1 or 2.
1 or 2. So did you leave some in with
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So 1 or
not
2,
with
and those guys will get a lot bigger than the others, and they'll keep her from getting mastitis.
What is mastitis? Oh my gosh, they are doing.
So they are all getting to know each other.
And they're starting to breed.
The 2 bigger ones,
Are starting to breed.
the 2 bigger ones are just about ready to butcher. So this is Jumper and Cloud. Cloud is not due until May, and Jumper is due, well actually I think they're both due in May. Jumper has really big babies. She's bred to a meat sheep, and you can see she has really nice fiber, but she has really big babies that don't have hardly any fiber. We have her tied because when given the opportunity, she will chase the other goats and butt them in the belly, and we had one goat that miscarried this year because of it. So she's on a long line. She can get into her shelter if she wants to, but she never does. She doesn't mind any weather. I keep her water in this white bucket. She has already put hay in it this morning. It's to keep her water from getting nastied by the ducks. And this is her hay. And she's kind of a bottle sheep. Not really. She was raised by a Nigerian dwarf crossed with an alpine. That was her mother. We had her adopt her. And she is my biggest animal, and she is my biggest eater as well. She eats as much as 2 goats. Yeah. So this was the first baby, and he's really big.